Hello there, people of the universe. My name is MichSciFi, and welcome to a new Star Wars themed video. If you couldn't tell. Okay, so while I just take my arm. No, but enough of that. In today's video, we're going to be looking at an article that I found on Twitter this morning, as you can see here, and it mentions the upcoming Rey film, which I did a video on about, I think it was a year later, and the Star Wars hyperfixation hath returned. I mentioned that while I'm not a big fan of the sequel trilogy, I do like Daisy Ridley, and I do like, I don't want to say her character, but I like the potential that Rey has. And while I, like many others, have issue with her being called Rey Skywalker, I more just said I would like there to have been more growth and more moments where she earned the name. Now, I'm sure there's some people out there who love the sequel trilogy and thought there were plenty of those moments, which is entirely fair. If you're one of those people, let me know. Share with me your favourite moment in the comments. I invite all discussions, no matter what era of Star Wars is your favourite, as long as we're all nice to one another.
Hate leads to suffering.
So, with her film, I don't know if this was already a known thing. I only found it out when I saw this article, that Shawn Levy is going to be directing it, which is really cool to me, because not only did he make Real Steel, which I love, and apparently there's going to be a sequel, which hopefully there is, but more importantly, he made one of, if not the best film of this year. I say one of because I haven't seen Sonic 3 yet, which might take that spot. But Shawn Levy, he made Deadpool and Wolverine, which is one of my favourite films. It was truly beautiful, and the way it finally brought Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool together was perfect. And finally getting the yellow suit in live action, it was a nerd dream come true, because I, like many others, grew up with the X-Men films. I've always loved Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, although Henry Cavill as Wolverine. Anyway, so this tweet mentions an article which I did go on because I was going to make a video reading it, but then I was met with this. Now, maybe it's just me, but I don't think you should have to subscribe and pay to get news. So I Googled and, well, Opera GX'd, technically, for the full article, and I more or less found it here. So bear with me. As we bid farewell to 2024, we look into the new year and wonder what's to come. On the Star Wars front, we get the epic conclusion of Andor. The second and final season will release exclusively on Disney Plus in April. The same month, Star Wars Celebration is due to take place in Japan. It's also the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. It's also expected that the second season of Ahsoka will begin shooting, which I'm very excited about. I absolutely loved Ahsoka. I cannot wait. Outside of those events, we don't know what else the galaxy far, far away has in store. However, a brief tidbit from a reliable journalist and insider may have given us a bit of hope that another Star Wars movie might enter production next year. The film will feature Daisy Ridley as Rey Skywalker, but she is not in the lead and will take on a mentor role, and the lead will be either a teenage boy or a young man. Now, she not being the lead, I don't know how to feel about it. Her taking on a mentor role, and there'll be an apprentice, kind of like what Last Jedi should have been. Because as well, I did research. The Rey film is going to be taking place 15 years after Rise of Skywalker. I probably found this out in the previous video a year ago, but I forgot. And that's something else that I'm cautious about. I do wonder if I said this last year. I think it'd be better to have it take place 5 years after, because I don't know, it's much like my issue with The Last Jedi and how much Luke changed. I mean, I don't know if Rey all changed a lot between those two films, but I'd rather we see a lot of her journey. I don't like the idea of us fast-forwarding and she's a Jedi Master and she's got a Padawan. I don't know, because a lot of people, not just myself, feel that Rey has potential as a character, but none of it got established or delivered upon in the 3 films. And the thing is, if in the film she's a Jedi Master and it is done well, it's only going to make me want more of her growth. Like, I want to see how she got to that point, because there's no way, because it's 15 years later, so what happened in that time? I'm sure there's comics and maybe games or animated things they could do, but I personally would rather it be 5 years later. She's not a Jedi Master as such. She's more of a Jedi Knight who is rebuilding the Order, like what Luke should have been doing in The Last Jedi. And we see her struggle with the notion of taking on an apprentice, because she knows she has to, obviously, but she's nervous because is she truly ready? And in wanting to rebuild the Order, she realizes how many challenges that brings, if that makes sense. I feel like that's what I would like them to do. I don't know. Obviously, even though Shawn Levy is an absolutely stellar director, he's one of my, I think he might be my third favorite director. There's Zack Snyder, Chris Nolan, and then Shawn Levy. It all comes down to the script, because last I heard, I could be wrong, I could be right, apparently the script for this movie was in a bit of trouble. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, for the most part, I'm excited. I'm just a bit 50-50 on the idea. Obviously, this source could be completely wrong. He could have got this one wrong. It says here he's reliable, but this could be the time he's wrong. So we'll have to see. But what do you guys think more important than anything else? What do you guys think about these ideas? Do you agree with what I've said about how you'd rather see her at the stage before being a master and she's like all those challenges? Or are you okay with this completely, etc.? Just let me know what you think. As long as it's all polite in the comments, like I said, I enjoy a discussion. So yeah, hopefully you guys had a wonderful Christmas and are looking forward to the new year. May the force be with you. Be kind, be good to one another, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
I'm a living legend. You ain't heard yet, you not get the message. From the moment that I'm stepping in, I get a couple weapons. Yeah, I turn to a beast when I'm repping. I'm a living legend.